Hello, WCAA. Thank you for joining
All
us.
right. And we are live on Facebook, everybody. And I requested you on
Awesome.
Instagram.
Okay, and I shall let you in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ah,
Oh,
and
fabulous.
now let's just move this guy up like this.
Okay. Hello, friends.
Hello. Hello, my friend. I've missed you.
I missed you too. It's
Uh,
not the same without you, but
how
we were all jealous on your
on my
DR
vacation.
vacation. I'm sorry, everybody in Facebook world. Sorry, I'm working from where I'm coming live to you from my home office,
I
and
can tell that you're at home by your background.
yes. Well, my background will change soon when I can get my stuff together. But my setup here is a little suspect. So if I fall on Instagram, I apologize. I'm trying to do a little balancing act with the phone.
All good.
Anyway,
all
hello everybody. Hi, Gina out there in Facebook world.
good. Hi, Gina. Hello, everybody on the Instagram world as well. Thank you for joining us today for episode number 57 of Window Treatment Friday live.
Yes, woo.
Kim and I are back together. I was away on vacation last week, and Kim, how did it go last week here without me? I missed you.
Well, I missed you too. We discussed some really cool options for awnings. I showed everyone what the same awning can do in a commercial application versus a residential application.
Very
So
cool.
it was, these two awnings that we've been cranking out. We've been doing a lot of retractable roof awnings. So the Genius awning,
Yeah.
JC and
Yeah.
Rich have been selling them like,
Hotcakes.
like it's going out of style. So the installers have been really busy doing that. They just finished one last week,
Hmm.
actually last Friday, that I will highlight in a couple weeks because it was a little different what we did compared
Awesome.
to the other one. So yeah, it's been
Oh,
really cool.
I can't wait to see it. That's very exciting. I know you guys do a very big awning business, so it's really good to bring you into the Window Treatment Friday every so often with your awning
Yes.
updates. So that's really awesome. But today, we're talking about the red, white, and blue projects. Of course, coincidental with the long holiday weekend on the 4th of July. We just thought it would be a really kind of fun, cool idea to bring some projects that are color coordinated with the holiday this weekend.
Yes. And at first I was like, do I have any red, white, and blue things? And then when I started going through all my photos, I was like, wow, I have quite a bit. I had to narrow it down to pick the selection. So it was kind of funny.
Good for you. And here you're up, Kim. So there you go.
Okay, here we go. So this is a project that the picture's a little dark, but it is a bay window of in a kitchen that we did for Anion Designs. They are located out of San Francisco. And what I thought was really cool about this fabric is it's a blue background with a red floral print, and it has a little bit of touches of white in it. So, haha, red, white, and blue.
You fit the bill.
But what was cool about this was we did this project, I want to say maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And the bay window with the elbows within itself was a little bit of, it wasn't something that you were always really finding that was super easy a couple years ago. But this was our first French return rod installation.
6 years ago. Wow. Aren't you the avant-garde one?
Yes. So when the design team from Anion Designs said, we want the rod that returns back to the wall, we're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And Luann, I remember, just like shot me a look and was like, do we know what that is?
Are you sure?
No. But I will find out and I will figure it out. So
lesson number one, everybody, whether you know or not, you say yes and then you figure it out.
So we were able to figure it out. So it was kind of like the birth of the French return rod at Window Works, so to speak, and to do this kind of piece, because again, there weren't a lot of like swivel elbows. So this actually came shipped to us with the elbows. We had to template it back in the
Oh,
day.
wow.
Now, yeah, it was a really fun box to receive.
It was
Um,
huge, right?
it
Like, it
was
was
huge
super wide,
because, yeah,
crated.
they were able to splice it. Like, you see the larger center window, that's where
Mhm.
the whole rod is spliced. So it's really, it came in two pieces.
Ah, okay,
So yeah,
okay.
it's welded together in the corners. Now there has been such an advancement in the last 6 years. It might even be longer than that because Luann's doing the podcast 5.
Right.
And this was, no, this is long, this is older. This is way older than 6
So
years.
it's quite incredible that that
Yeah.
many years ago you guys were able to do that.
So, but yeah, but now we don't have to worry about creating this in because we can do this in pieces, and
Mhm.
so to speak, you can connect the rods in the corners. It isn't like such a scary thing. When I look at this window, I'm like, oh, no brainer. I have like 5 or 6 hardware lines that we can
Right.
really do this. So it's just showing you how much the hardware has really advanced over the years.
Mhm.
And I just really love the fabric that they picked. It was something fun and bright to kind of frame out this breakfast nook,
Yeah.
and just, showing you what kind of,
Super cool. Good job
yeah,
as always, my friend.
thank you.
All right, my next picture here, actually, I took a bit of a different approach of the 3 pictures. So each, for those of you who are new here, you guys, Kim and I usually take 3 projects that we each
Mhm.
showcase, and sometimes there are projects, sometimes there are other designers' projects, and then every month we have a specific design spotlight. So today, with the with the red, blue, and white theme, I have 1 picture that Vitalia Inc. did, and 2 of some of my favorite design firms here in the Philadelphia area. One of which being Michelle Winitsky Interior Design. Full disclosure, we do not do any projects for her. I've been admiring her from afar for many, many years. I also know her personally from networking events and ASID, and just really admire her work in general. And this is one of those projects that is really cool and it fit our bill today. So here we have the red, blue, and white. We have really cool blue bedding with some
Mhm.
touches of red and white in the back. We have really cool mock Roman valance on the windows. You can really see it pretty well on Facebook, and Instagram somehow is showing up pretty dark today. You guys, you never know how Instagram is going to receive us. So
I
today it's
know.
dark. We're just happy we're on. So, every Friday I feel blessed and grateful that we can get on. So if it's a little dark, you can always see it on our Facebook page as well. But what it is, it's a mock Roman valance. What mock Roman means is that it's made look as if it were as if it were a Roman shade, but it's a
Mhm.
stationary thing. Anytime you have a valance, a shade means that it's functional. Valance means that it's stationary. Here we have a stationary treatment being a valance, and mock Roman means that it has folds. Here, Michelle decided to do equal folds. There are 3 there, and I'm just looking here on my bigger screen so I can actually see, but there are 3 equal folds. And it's in a red and white fabric. And she also kind of accentuated with these long white or off-white, we'll call them ties, with a
Nice,
knot
yeah.
on the bottom. So here you have it, the red, blue, and white color scheme. Clearly this was done for a shore house. Michelle does do a lot of shore projects here in the
Pretty.
Philadelphia area. A lot of our customers have main residences in the Philadelphia area and then secondary residences down the South Jersey shore. Just like Kim and Window Works service the New York and North Jersey shore, here at Vitalia Inc. we service the South Jersey shore. So that was one of those projects.
Nice. And over on Instagram, PJ2826 said, "Hello, ladies. French returns have been around for centuries. I used them way back in 2011." Yeah, I mean, that project was probably, I want to say, 2012,
Mm-hmm.
2013. But like now, you can't start a project without being like French return rod. Like it's like one
Right.
of those things that it kind of goes in waves. I mean,
Right, right.
you
Yeah,
know.
and for sure. I mean, the
Yeah.
listener viewer is 100% right. Is just what we mean to say is French returns haven't been in. They've been around for sure, but they haven't been
In
as
style.
trendy and on trend and
Yeah.
in style exactly until for me, for Vitalia Inc. We really kind of made them part of our, like, oh yeah, yep, French returns, yep, French returns. We knew exactly where to go to,
Mhm.
and we had certain specific number of suppliers that we went to. We've been doing it, I want to say, for about maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 years, something
Mhm.
like that. And 5 would be, I would say, an outstretch. So that's not to say that they haven't been around. They have been, but again, for them being mainstream again and on trend, that's how long it's been for us.
Well, wood is coming back. I'm just letting you all know.
Big wood, like
Ah,
hunky chunk of
not
wood.
hunky, but like, like a more watered down version of what we used to do 10 years ago.
All right. I like it. What was
Stay
new is
tuned.
what was old is new again, and it's
Exactly.
all
Stay tuned.
cyclical and it all comes back. I will be very curious to see if that big hunka chunka hardware ever comes back. Remember we used to do that? It was like a 2.25 inch rod, and the finials were, I mean, you can literally kill someone with those hunka chunka
Oh,
things.
well, fun detour story. We thought someone was breaking into Window Works like 10 years ago, and we used to have the big rods on display, the big finials, 3-inch finials, and I took one with
No.
me to the basement. Yeah,
Seriously? Oh
swear to
my
you.
gosh.
Me and our old showroom coordinator, Anne, we were like, "Who's here?" We heard
Oh.
someone in the basement, and
You
we
heard
went
somebody in the
down.
basement and you went down there.
Well, yeah, I didn't want them stealing merchandise. I mean, like, I didn't want to call the police either until I knew that, like, what the situation was. I had the phone ready, but I also came prepared with my 3-inch finial that I took off the display. Yeah. So
You're
yeah,
very, very devoted and dedicated, Kim. My hat is off to you, girl.
All right, this next project we did about a couple years ago for Carrie Wisner Designs out of Short Hills, and this was for a young tween boys' room. So it's always fun when you're trying to design for a boys' room because it's that level of that trying to keep it masculine without it being too baby and having it be a room that they could really grow into. Boys so much don't really care as much as girls. Like they constantly want to change the rooms around. I find that sometimes I get calls from clients who are like, "We're redoing my daughter's room." I was like, "Wait, didn't we just do it 3 years ago when she was in middle school?" It's like, yeah, she's in high school now. But so with this, it's kind of the level of sophistication. So we did a blackout Roman shade with a uh, red, white, and blue, coincidentally, striped fabric. And again, what I love about this, it's a horizontal stripe as opposed to a vertical stripe. So that was one of the things that I loved about Carrie's fabric choice. And then we paired it, we took that same fabric and put it on the bolster and then kind of just played around with the pattern of it and kind of created our own pattern. Could we have copied the same fabric and just did a whole bolster that way? We could have, but I liked Carrie's idea of just breaking up the stripe with a solid red and really piping it in a white simple lip cord from Samuel and Sons. And then we did the same kind of piping on the side bolsters, and the actual cushion itself was a knife edge, no piping, because then we didn't want to, you don't want to over exaggerate the same thing there. But it was just a really cool little nook area. I also want to point out that because this is in a little bit of a niche, so it's like an inside outside mount kind of installation. So even though the goal is to make it a room darkening, you're still going to get some kind of light bleed on the side. So that's really
Yep.
important. I'm finding that more and more that this is coming up on installations. I don't know about you, Vita, that we could have the whole conversation and we have the whole discussion of like what level of room darkening do you need?
Yeah.
And even though the client could have been asked, well, what if we went inside? Would you still get the light? Yes, you would get
Yes.
more light.
Yeah.
You would get
Yeah.
more light than what you would
Exactly.
do than this kind of an application. So this is a good example of, even though, yes, it's an outside mount, you're still getting that halo effect, but it would be even worse if it was inside mount because your gaps would have been a little larger.
Exactly. Yeah. The whole concept of inside outside, I find that trips up some designers when we try
Mm-hmm.
to explain it to them. And for them to understand that even though we're going outside of the window, so on top of the frame, but we're still going between the walls. So it's not that
Yes.
we're going between the frame for the inside installation, we're going between the walls, so it's still an inside installation. And there's still, anytime you have any kind of wall, whether it's drywall or a trim or
Doesn't
anything,
matter.
anything that the shade butts up against, it will never be attached to it, essentially. There will
Right.
always be a little bit of a gap just because the way the fabric is, the way it folds, physics is really what it
Yeah.
is.
And we need those gaps, truthfully, because you don't want
And
it like
you need it because you don't want to brush against the
because
walls.
the shade needs to move. So we often get sometimes, I don't know, like if you hear this, well, my paper shade blocks out more light. Yes, because it's flat and because you're cutting it basically the size of the window.
Hmm.
So you're not getting that much light because it's basically sitting right up against the glass where any type of shade isn't going to sit completely flush. So this is another example of how you're still going to get a little bit of a bleed. And yes, paper shades will block out a little bit more light, but these are all conversations that we need to have. That's kind of one of the reasons in conjunction with the red, white, and blue is I wanted to show what
Hmm.
an inside outside mount Roman blackout Roman still allows light to come in on the sides.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
All right, so this is a project that Vitalia Inc. did for our local designer here. Her name is, the firm name is Z Domus Design, and Rose Zaffarino is the owner of the firm. Here, in case it's a little bit unclear, we have the larger picture with
Mm-hmm.
the bunk beds as being the center focus here, and the two cornices on the sides, but you can't really see them very well. So what I did was I included the inset of cornice, this cornice kind of straight up. So not a whole lot of red here, but I just went with the blue and white scheme here with a little bit of tan actually, and some of the neutral colors and natural fibers too. So what's interesting here, so this was a boys' room for a model home for Rockwell
Mm-hmm.
Builders, which is another big builder here in the Philadelphia area. And what we wanted to do as like a special touch for this boys' room, we didn't want to just use any piping on the cornice. And this was a very kind of nautical themed room. So we went out and got a really big, like an inch wide,
Mm-hmm.
an inch in diameter cord. Like, what do you call those? Now the term is escaping me, but you would know. It's natural fibers, and
Like
it's like a very nautical type of
so twine.
cord. Yes, the twine. Thank you very much. We usually think of twine cord as something really thin that you
Thin
would, kind of either wrap your gifts with for, some kind of a
or
that kind of
newspapers and
look, or yeah, right. Or, we wrap our recycling in it so that
mm-hmm.
the guys can take it easier. But here it's not thin. It's truly really, really thick.
Looks like a rope
It's an
essentially.
inch. It's an inch thick cord, right? It's kind of like a nautical rope if you think about it, but even like thicker. So
Mm-hmm.
that was kind of our special little gimmick here for this boys' room. So I thought that was really neat to show this project here.
Yeah, and it's a good use. Like you had your tackles or your fishing tackles that you use for
Hmm.
that one valance and the tree bark.
Yeah,
So it's always really fun when you get to like think out of the box. So nicely done.
exactly. Exactly. I don't even know how we came up with that idea, but it was one of those things, to your earlier point, Kim, where you're like, can we do it? Yes, we can. That's from that's a line from a cartoon. Bob the Builder. I only know it because of my kids. Can we do it? Yes, we can. And then
I,
we went on to research how it can be done.
we actually used one time in an industrial like art studio space. I used actual like real pipe. Actual like
Yeah,
plumber's
wow.
pipe. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's pretty
she had
cool.
pipes coming out of her ceiling and she
Mhm.
wanted the rod to look like it was part of the piping. And she was just doing stationary grommets, so she wasn't planning on moving them, especially they were like 10-foot high drapes.
Mhm.
And so she wanted the effect of like the pipe and the splice and the brass. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
you
it's
have
all
to
about
figure it
thinking
out.
outside the
Yeah.
box and figuring it out, and just being creative.
So this next Roman shade, it doesn't have the red, but I thought it was a really cool
Mhm.
application to show a simple shade and how trimming can really make it happen. This we did for House of Funk. It
Oh,
was
nice.
so it was a little bathroom, a powder room project that we did here. And they just wanted to do just a simple, again, well, I guess wall to wall or inside, outside, wall to wall, Roman shade. And what I liked about it was Sandra just didn't want to keep it just like a simple white Roman, but she didn't want to bring something with a lot of pattern. So there are ways that you can bring a little bit of a design element with some trim. So we were able to, when the Roman shade is all the way down, you kind of see this like little box design that we
Mm-hmm.
created at the in the corners.
It's like a
And
mini faux Greek key in a way.
key, yes, kind of thing. And so we just picked a very thin tape trim that is easy to manipulate and that you can fold to make into these corners. And I thought it
Mhm.
turned out really cool.
Very nice.
So,
Sweet, elegant, simple. Yet
right,
actually anybody who's done any kind of Roman shade knows that applying a trim straight like this, when
is a
it's that
pain.
contrasting against the main fabric, is takes a lot of skill, takes a lot of time. And then to do that mini Greek key
On the
pattern
corner.
is, yeah, that's no
It's a
easy
lot of
feat.
work. It's a
It
lot of, it
looks
doesn't
simple.
exactly. It looks simple, but there's a lot of effort that goes into coming up with that design from the workroom standpoint.
Making sure that all
Sure.
the corners are properly mitered, making sure that all the trim is straight and parallel to the edge. That square on the corner is every
Hmm.
edge is parallel to, to each other. So, and especially if
And
it's a linen fabric and linen stretches, God knows what you can lay it out on the table perfectly straight, and then you hang it up, and the linen kind of goes askew, and
it
there goes your
shifts a little
tape,
bit.
and you're
Yeah,
just like, oh
yeah.
my God.
And then making sure the boxes are like the same distance from the bottom on the sides, that it all lays out right. And it's not that wide of a Roman to begin with. So you're
Mhm.
dealing with that proportion. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of discussion for a
Yeah.
little tiny window.
Exactly, and from the workroom standpoint, it takes a lot of skill to do something like that. Okay, so the next project here is by another favorite designer of ours here in the Philadelphia area. Her name is, the design firm is Eberlin Design Consultants Ltd. Barbara Eberlein is the principal designer and the founder, the CEO, and she is another designer, much like Michelle Winitsky, for whom I have an incredible amount of respect and admiration. I've highlighted both of them here on WTF Live in the past, where I've gone into some of their credentials and history and background. But today I am using one of their works for our red and white and blue theme. And here Barbara did also clearly a shore house. She did a Roman shade, and I believe this is a function. And full disclosure, we did not do this project, so I can kind of see that this is a functional Roman shade, but the amount of stack that there is on the bottom,
Hmm.
a very cute pillow with a lighthouse on it, some other pillows with nautical motifs. Every element here has some kind of red, white, and blue colors in it. I really like how the cushion has contrasting red piping, so
Hmm.
that's really cool. So just a lot of really great stuff here in this little nook, and we all love those beach houses with beautiful views, and to be able to enjoy that beautiful view on a beautiful cushion and leaning on a cool pillow framed by a beautiful valance. I mean, who wouldn't want to have that kind of life?
Exactly. And this is actually a really good example of how much a Roman shade, if it is, to your point, it does look like it's a fully functioning Roman shade, how much of the stack covers the window. Because that's
Yeah.
always another important conversation, especially if you have like a killer view where it looks like it's an ocean view.
Yep.
Um, to have all those kinds of conversations with your client, I think that's really important. I know that, again, when you're working with Vitalia Inc. and Window Works, we're going to prompt those conversations with you. And if your client is there on the measure or the consultation, we're not expecting you to remember those things, but especially those are things that you want to just point out when you're discussing which style of window treatment you want to select, talking about the stack, whether it's how high on the window or how far into the sides if you're doing a drape.
Yeah.
This is a good example of like you're it's kind of missing what the first half of the top half of the first pane of the
Mhm.
window. So
Right, exactly. And to your point, these are all the conversations and the points of discussion that you and I remember.
Right.
And Vitalia Inc. and the Window Works, that's what we know to talk about. And it's not something that we necessarily expect the designer to know or
No.
remember. Yeah. Alrighty.
Alrighty, everyone. Well, that concludes our holiday episode, if you will, our red, white, and blue episode. To Before we go, we have a couple of free goodies that we want to share with you. Luann wrote an ebook. So if you are new to window treatments, head on over to our website, windowworksnj.com, and download your free copy of 10 Things to Know About Custom Window Treatments.
And from Vitalia Inc., you also have a little freebie gift. It's a curated lookbook that we designed that is filled with inspiration and education. It has a ton of our projects that Vitalia Inc. has done in our area here. It also has some excerpts from some of the presentations that I've done. So I talk about some of the terminology and technical things that are related to window treatment. So please head on to vitaliainc.com and grab your free gift today if you don't have it already.
And to keep up with all things Miss Luann and to listen to the audio version of Window Treatment Friday, head on over to luannigera.com, hit the podcast tab, and if you search on the right-hand side in the browse all episodes, WTF, all of your episodes will pop up there for everyone to listen to.
And the last episode that Luann and I did, if you dropped a few weeks ago, I highly recommend that you listen to this one because if you are anything like Kim and I or anybody right now in the design industry, we are all swamped. We're swamped and pretty crazed on both sides, on the demand side from our customers and also on the supply side. There's lots of really bona fide real challenges on the supply side between shortage of staff and lead times and back orders and things like that. And at the same time, we're dealing with much increased demand than we have been in any previous years. So we're all navigating those challenges. And Luann and I are talking about some of them, how to have some of the difficult conversations with our clients, how to talk to our staff and how to keep them motivated and not so frustrated by all of the things that we're dealing with, and also how to deal with it ourselves, how to do some of the self-care, just in general, how to navigate the whole post-COVID craziness in our industry. So highly recommend you check out this last episode. It dropped beginning of June, so you don't have to flip back that far back. Oh, it's me again. And before I'll let you go, I usually try to do one interchanges, but to contact Vitalia Inc. if you're a designer in the Philadelphia area and if you're looking for support with your window treatments, we would love to be that window treatment provider for you. We are a one-stop shop, your go-to resource exclusively for interior designers who are ready to fly first class in the world of window treatments. Your concierge level white glove service in this world of custom furnishing. So my phone number, email, Instagram, please DM, PM, and let us know if we can support you on your next project.
And for Window Works, if you are in the New York and New Jersey area, we would be happy to help you on your next project or awning, not only window treatment project, but awning project. Head on over to our Instagram page or Facebook page or send us an email or give us a call.
Awesome. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining us today and every Friday, because if it's Friday,
it's Window Treatment Friday Live,
where Kim and I geek out on all things window treatments, and we hope to provide you with education and inspiration and to be your resource for all things window treatments.
Alrighty, everyone. Have a fabulous holiday weekend, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next Friday. Bye-bye.